Hello everyone and welcome back to Build 3. Today we are entering a deep and honest exploration of the United States economy, not through sensational headlines, not through political arguments, but through long-term reality, history, and future direction. This is a complete story about how the American economy was built, how it reached the top of the world, how it is being challenged today, and how it is quietly transforming into a new system that will shape global power for decades to come. The United States did not become the largest economy in the world by accident. It became the largest economy because it mastered scale innovation and trust better than any other nation in modern history. Innovation allowed new industries to be born. Scale allowed them to grow faster than anywhere else. And trust made the world willing to use the dollar, invest in American assets, and trade with American companies for over a century. This combination created a self-reinforcing system where money, talent, and ideas flowed into the U.S. and stayed there because the system rewarded those who participated in it. At the center of the American economy is consumption. The American consumer is the engine of global demand. When Americans spend, factories in Asia increase production. When Americans slow down, the entire world feels it. This is why economic news from the U.S. affects markets in Europe, Africa, Asia, and Latin America almost instantly. However, this model has a weakness. It depends on confidence and constant growth. When confidence is shaken or growth slows, the pressure builds across the entire system. For decades, the U.S. economy expanded through credit, low interest rates, and globalization. Companies moved factories overseas to cut costs. Consumers borrowed more money, and governments spent more freely. This created short-term growth, but also long-term fragility. When the global pandemic hit, supply chains collapsed, inflation surged, and the illusion of unlimited efficiency disappeared overnight. The economy did not break, but it revealed its vulnerabilities. Inflation changed the daily life of millions of Americans. Groceries, housing, energy, and healthcare became more expensive. Wages rose, but not fast enough to keep up, and for the first time in years, many families felt poorer. Even though they were earning more money, interest rates were raised to control inflation, which made mortgages, car loans, and business investments more expensive. This slowed some sectors, but strengthened others, creating an uneven recovery where some people thrived and others struggled. Government debt reached historic levels, but instead of collapsing, the system continued. Because the U.S. still holds the most trusted financial institutions in the world, investors still buy U.S. bonds, not because they are perfect, but because there is no safer alternative. This is an uncomfortable truth, but a powerful one. The U.S. benefits from being the least risky option in a risky world. The labor market is undergoing a silent revolution. Jobs are not disappearing all at once. They are transforming slowly and permanently. Automation is replacing repetitive tasks. Artificial intelligence is replacing analysis, and software is replacing entire layers of management. The jobs of the future require constant learning, adaptability, and digital skills. This creates opportunity for those who can adapt, but leaves others behind, creating social and economic tension. The American middle class, once the foundation of stability, now feels pressure from every direction. Housing prices have doubled in many regions. Healthcare costs continue to rise. Education has become a financial burden instead of a guarantee of success. Young people delay milestones like buying homes, starting families, and opening businesses because uncertainty feels permanent. Yet productivity continues to rise because technology allows fewer people to produce more value than ever before. Artificial intelligence is becoming the new backbone of the economy, just as electricity was in the 20th century. It is not a tool, it is infrastructure. It changes how every industry operates: finance, medicine, logistics, defense, agriculture, education, and government itself. The United States leads this transformation because of its ecosystem of universities, venture capital, research institutions, and private companies. This advantage is structural and difficult for competitors to copy, even with large investments. At the same time, the United States is rebuilding its industrial base, something many experts once believed was impossible. Massive investments in semiconductors, batteries, electric vehicles, clean energy, and advanced manufacturing are bringing factories back to American soil. States like Texas, Arizona, Ohio Michigan, Georgia, and Tennessee are becoming new industrial centers. This is not the old manufacturing economy based on low wages. It is a new one based on robotics, automation, and energy efficiency. The goal is not just jobs, but control of supply chains in a world that is becoming more fragmented and less cooperative. Energy is another major transformation. For decades, the U.S. depended on global oil markets. Now it is becoming more energy independent through shale production, renewable energy, nuclear innovation, and grid modernization. Energy independence is not just about climate. It is about national security and economic stability. Countries that control energy control growth. And the U.S. is positioning itself to reduce vulnerability while creating new industries that can dominate the next era. The global role of the U.S. economy is also evolving. The dollar remains dominant, but other nations are searching for alternatives. Trade is becoming regional rather than global, and technology is becoming a weapon of diplomacy. Sanctions, export controls, and digital infrastructure now shape international relationships as much as armies once did. This creates risk but also reinforces the importance of American financial systems, which remain the most transparent and trusted in the world. The competition with China will define the next economic era, not as a traditional war, but as a race for technological dominance. Whoever controls artificial intelligence, semiconductors, energy storage, space systems, and communication infrastructure will shape global power for decades. This is why the U.S. is investing so heavily in research, education, defense, and industrial policy. It understands that future economic strength will not come from population size, but from system efficiency, speed, and innovation. The future U.S. economy will be smaller in workforce, but larger in output. Fewer people will produce more value through machines. Algorithms and networks work will become more flexible. Cities will change, and the boundaries between industries will disappear. Finance will merge with technology. Manufacturing will merge with software. And energy will merge with data. Companies that survive will be those that adapt quickly and build systems, not just products. Despite the challenges, one truth remains: the U.S. economy is not collapsing. It is evolving. Every major transformation in history looked chaotic from the inside. The Industrial Revolution destroyed old jobs but created new ones. The digital revolution disrupted industries but unlocked massive growth. The current transformation is no different. It will be painful for some, powerful for others, and defining for everyone. The next American economy will be built on intelligence, energy, data, and trust. Intelligence, not just human, but artificial energy. Not just oil, but clean, controlled, and secure data. Not just information, but decision-making power. And trust, not just in money, but in systems that function under pressure. This transformation is already happening quietly through factories being built, software being deployed, and infrastructure being upgraded. While headlines focus on conflict, the real story unfolds in systems. For individuals, the message is clear. Learning is survival, adaptability is currency, and flexibility is strength. The future will not belong to the strongest or the richest, but to those who can change fastest. Those who understand technology, systems, and long-term trends will thrive. Those who resist will struggle. History does not slow down and the economy does not wait. The United States has reinvented its economy many times, from agriculture to industry, from industry to services, from services to technology, and now from technology to intelligence. The next version is already forming, and it will shape not only America, but the world for generations. Thank you for watching Bole Build 3.0. This channel exists to help you see the systems behind the headlines and the forces behind the future. If you want to understand how economies are built, challenged, and rebuilt, subscribe and stay with us, because the next chapter is already beginning and we will explore it together. See you in the next video.